Britney Spears invited me here. She's my first wife, my only wife. I'm her first husband.
It's tougher when you don't want your marriage to end off of like your personal reasons, but circumstances change.
It was the best thing that ever happened to me because it changed me. It didn't change me. It helped me grow in a way that I needed to grow.
You think 72 days is bad? Honey, that's practically a golden anniversary compared to what I'm about to tell you. One of these marriages lasted 55 hours, not even 3 full days. Another one, 4 days, and the groom was literally screaming in the courthouse that his bride was going to take all his money. And here's the part that's going to blow your mind. Some of these couples knew it was a disaster before they even left the chapel. I'm talking full-blown panic, family interventions.
I felt like somebody just ripped apart my world.
And one case where the bride got locked out of the honeymoon suite. By the time we get to number 1, you're gonna wonder how any of this was even legal. We're counting down 19 celebrity marriages that ended faster than most people's vacations. And trust me, the stories behind these splits are way more dramatic than the weddings themselves. Let's get into it.
You know, you hold on to family when you go through hard times like that.
So excited to start a new chapter.
Number 19 is Britney Spears and Sam Asghari. And this one broke hearts across the internet after everything Britney had been through with that 13-year conservatorship.
She deserves all of the freedom.
We're feeling great. So excited. As long as Britney's happy, we're happy.
Fans were rooting so hard for this to be her happy ending. She and Sam had been together since 2016 when they met on her music video set. They got engaged in 2021, finally married in June 2022, and for 14 months, it seemed like maybe Britney was finally free and happy.
I just want to be a happy person.
Then in August 2023, Sam filed for divorce. Reports said he moved out after a huge argument where he allegedly accused Britney of cheating, though she denied it. But here's where it gets messy and heartbreaking.
Sam believes that she cheated with a house staffer.
Britney herself eventually came out in her memoir and said the marriage was a fake distraction during her conservatorship. Can you imagine being told that your relationship, the thing you thought was real and yours, was actually being used as a tool to control you? Fans always had questions about Sam's intentions, and those comments from Britney seem to confirm people's worst fears. After being together for 7 years total, you'd think the actual marriage would last longer than 14 months.
And so then we got to talking, we got to know each other, and she's hilarious.
At number 18, we've got Nicolas Cage and Lisa Marie Presley. And spoiler alert, this isn't the only time we'll see him on this list. The Oscar winner married Elvis's only daughter in August 2002. And listen, this pairing made sense in the weirdest way. Cage is a massive Elvis superfan. He based characters on The King, sang his songs in movies. So marrying into the Presley legacy felt almost destined. They met at a party in 2000 and bonded over growing up in famous families. Their wedding happened in Hawaii during the week of Elvis's death anniversary, which felt either romantic or ominous. Just 107 days later, Cage filed for divorce. Lisa Marie later described it perfectly, saying they were both like two tyrannical pirates trying to take over each other's ship. Their similar, explosive personalities made living together impossible. One of the most absurd details was them fighting over Cage's comic book collection during the divorce, which took almost 2 years to finalize, longer than the relationship and marriage combined. For Lisa Marie, this was another high-profile failure after Michael Jackson. For Cage, it was just the beginning of questionable romantic decisions.
Love someone and then not be a forever happy ending.
I was surprised that you got married after dating someone for 2 months. I mean,
Absolutely
what is that?
Hold on, because number 17 is recent and it has Kardashian mess written all over it. Celebrity hairstylist Kris Appleton married Euphoria star Lukas Gage in April 2023, and the wedding was officiated by Kim Kardashian herself in Las Vegas. It was big, splashy, with all the right people and perfect photos. 6 months later, in November 2023, Kris filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. The timing was brutal because their wedding had literally just aired on an episode of The Kardashians days before the divorce filing went public. So people were watching them get married on TV while they were already broken up in real life. That's the modern celebrity nightmare right there. Sources said they'd rushed into things. They'd only been together a short time before getting engaged. Once the honeymoon phase wore off, they realized they didn't actually have much in common. Kris's career kept him constantly traveling and working with A-list clients, and Lukas was dealing with his own pressures. The combination of rushed timelines and not really knowing each other deeply enough meant this was doomed from the start.
If you don't understand that, then that's a problem for me.
Okay, well then maybe we have a problem.
Number 16 is the divorce that broke the internet before that was even a thing. Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries got married on August 20, 2011, in a wedding broadcast as a 4-hour E-special called Kim's Fairytale Wedding. The ceremony was massive, reportedly cost $10 million, and 72 days later, Kim filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. The backlash was nuclear. People created petitions to ban the Kardashians from TV, calling it a sham marriage staged for ratings. Here's the thing though, if you watch the show leading up to the wedding, you could literally see Kim's doubts on camera. She looked anxious, she and Kris seemed totally incompatible, but the wedding train had left the station. Kim later admitted she realized it was a mistake on her honeymoon in Italy, but felt too embarrassed to back out. The real drama was the legal battle. Kris refused to sign divorce papers and instead filed for annulment claiming fraud, arguing he was just a prop in Kim's storyline.
I would never marry for a TV show, for money, for anything like that, and I think that's...
This standoff lasted over a year, longer than the marriage itself. 72 days became cultural shorthand for fake relationships, referenced everywhere from late-night shows to memes.
The biggest one is that her ex-husband Liam Hemsworth cheated on her with Jennifer Lauren.
Number 15 is Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth, and this one hurt because we'd watched their love story for a decade. They met on the last song set in 2009, started this on-again, off-again relationship, got engaged in 2012.
This year has just been amazing, and Liam deserves it.
She is very, extremely supportive. I'm extremely proud of her. Just throw that in.
Called it off in 2013, got back together in 2015, and finally married in December 2018 in a private ceremony at their Tennessee home. For 8 months, it seemed like they'd figured it out. Then, in August 2019, boom, separation announcement.
Breaking Hollywood news overnight, Miley and Liam no more.
Miley was photographed in Italy without her ring right before the news broke. Liam posted on Instagram saying this wasn't working, but gave zero details. Later, Miley hinted she felt lonely in the marriage and wasn't ready to be a wife in her 20s. Rumors were everywhere. Some said the Malibu house fire that destroyed their home caused too much strain. Others pointed to their different lifestyles.
Here on Miley Cyrus's property, everything was destroyed by the fire.
The divorce was finalized in early 2020, and they both moved on quickly.
Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus's marriage is officially over.
Their short marriage became the perfect example of childhood sweethearts who finally get their happy ending, only to realize the fantasy was better than reality. Okay, so 8 months, 72 days. These are shockingly short, right? But girl, we're about to get into marriages that lasted weeks, not months. Weeks. The reasons why are absolutely wild, and one involves a bachelor party betrayal that'll make you never trust anyone again.
Luann made the announcement on Twitter saying, "It's with great sadness that Tom and I agreed to divorce."
Number 14 takes us into Real Housewives territory, and if you watched the show, you saw this train wreck in real time. Countess Luann de Lesseps married Tom D'Agostino on New Year's Eve 2016 in Palm Beach, and her fellow housewives were literally begging her not to do it. They'd seen Tom out with other women, heard cheating rumors, and tried to warn her. She married him anyway. 7 months later, in August 2017, Luann filed for divorce. The final straw? Tom reconnected with an ex-girlfriend at a party without telling Luann, and she found out the next day in the press. Can you imagine? Your husband is cozying up to an ex, and you don't hear it from him. You see it in the tabloids. Luann told Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live that discovering this through the media broke her, and she felt completely humiliated. Footage had emerged of Tom with another woman just weeks before the split. Luann later called marrying Tom her biggest regret on camera. This became legendary in Bravo history, spawning countless memes and becoming the ultimate example of ignoring red flags because you're in love with the idea of being in love. Number 13 is Colton Haynes and Jeff Leatham, and this wedding was ridiculously over the top. The Arrow star married celebrity florist Jeff Leatham in October 2017 at a Palm Springs resort officiated by Kris Jenner. The guest list was insane: Sofia Vergara, Joe Manganiello, and other A-list royalty. Jeff created a literal wall of thousands of roses. The production value was through the roof. 6 months later, in May 2018, Colton filed for divorce. The first sign of trouble was very modern. Colton started scrubbing his Instagram, deleting photos of Jeff, and unfollowing him. Then Colton released a song called Man It Sucks, with lyrics about cheating and drama.
Man, it sucks.
And fans immediately speculated Jeff had been unfaithful. Colton had to clarify on Twitter that wasn't the issue, which only deepened the mystery. The truth came out later in Colton's memoir. He'd lost his mother shortly after the wedding and was struggling with addiction. The whirlwind marriage was partly a way to seek stability when his life felt chaotic, but you can't use another person to fix your internal struggles, and the marriage became collateral damage.
It's not fun, it's very intrusive, and Who would want that?
Number 12 is one of J-Lo's early marriages people tend to forget. Jennifer Lopez married backup dancer Kris Judd in September 2001, just months after her breakup from Sean Combs. They met when Kris choreographed her Love Don't Cost a Thing video, and their professional relationship turned romantic fast. The wedding was at Lopez's Bel Air home, sweet and low-key. 9 months later, in June 2002, they announced their separation. The real problem? Scheduling. Lopez was constantly filming, performing, building her empire. Kris was always working too. They were ships passing in the night. Kris later told people their marriage didn't have a chance and called it a mistake because they'd moved so fast. Only 3 months of dating before engagement. J-Lo admitted the speed was crazy and she'd rushed in without thinking. The divorce finalized in 2003. For Kris, it was a brief brush with A-list fame before fading back to choreography. For Lopez, this short stint is overshadowed by her later marriages to Mark Anthony and Ben Affleck. But at the time, it was major tabloid fodder.
That I really understood what it was like to be married, and I really didn't.
Number 11 is Renée Zellweger and Kenny Chesney, and the word fraud haunts this story forever. The Oscar winner and country star married in May 2005 in a barefoot beach ceremony in the Virgin Islands. The photos were gorgeous. Renée in Carolina Herrera, Kenny in his Stetson. 4 months later, Renée filed for annulment and checked the box marked fraud on the paperwork. The media immediately jumped to the most scandalous conclusion, that Kenny was secretly gay and had deceived her. The rumors became so loud that Renée released another statement clarifying fraud was just legal language and not a reflection of Kenny's character. The truth? Kenny admitted to Oprah he panicked. He wasn't ready to be a husband, and the only way to get a quick annulment was to cite fraud. The fraud was that he'd misrepresented his readiness for marriage. He was used to life on the road, and being Mr. Zellweger under intense scrutiny was too much. The fallout scarred both of them. Kenny retreated from Hollywood. Renée took a hiatus from acting. This remains a lesson in how legal language can destroy reputations.
Just getting out of this relationship and someone from...
Right before your last birthday, you
Right
got out
before
of a
my...
relationship.
Yes, and
Number 10 is Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Esposito. Before Cooper became the massive star he is today, they married in December 2006 in a romantic ceremony in France. 4 months later, on May 1, 2007, Jennifer filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Cooper's rep said they'd been separated for quite a while, suggesting they knew it was over almost immediately. In 2011, Cooper opened up saying, "It was just something that happened. The good thing is, we both realized it." That sounds mutual and amicable, but whispers at the time suggested their careers were on very different paths. Cooper's star was rising. The Hangover would explode in 2009, while Esposito wanted a more settled life. They were in different places emotionally and professionally. Jennifer remarried in 2014. Cooper went on to date Irina Shayk. This marriage is notable mostly because Cooper is such a mega celebrity now, but back in 2007, it barely registered. The lesson? Even people who seem to have it together can make impulsive decisions they immediately regret.
I had 2 beautiful boys with him, and it was really a heightened kind of romantic beginning.
Number 9 is Pamela Anderson and Kid Rock. Pure chaos from start to finish. On July 29, 2006, after years of on-off dating, they married on a yacht in Saint-Tropez. Pamela wore a white bikini and captain's hat as her bridal outfit, because of course. To prove their commitment, they held 3 separate ceremonies in different locations: France, Beverly Hills, Nashville. 4 months later, Pamela filed for divorce in November. The catalyst is one of the most bizarre stories ever. According to Sacha Baron Cohen, the marriage ended because of the movie Borat. Pamela had a cameo where Borat tries to kidnap her. When she and Kid Rock watched it together at a private screening, he reportedly hated it and started screaming at her, humiliated by her role. A massive fight erupted. Cohen claimed Pamela texted him saying they were divorcing because of the movie. Kid Rock denied this was the sole reason, but the timeline matches. She filed weeks after the film's release. The split was nasty, with Kid Rock calling Pamela psycho in the press. This marriage proved that when 2 volatile people collide, explosion is inevitable. Number 8 is Pamela's second appearance. And yes, she married this guy twice. On November 11, 2007, during a break from her Vegas magic show, Pamela married poker player Rick Salomon at the Mirage Hotel. Rick was previously linked to scandal and had briefly married Shannon Doherty. 2 months later, Rick filed for annulment citing fraud, claiming Pamela wasn't legally able to marry due to bankruptcy issues. Pamela shrugged it off, saying the split was amicable and quick. At only 60 days, this was her fastest marriage yet. The twist? 7 years later, in 2014, Pamela and Rick married again. That second marriage lasted 6 months before they divorced again in 2015. So they married, annulled, remarried, and divorced. Insiders described their relationship as addictive. a cycle of highs and lows neither could quit. This first 60-day marriage shows that even people who know each other for years can rush into something doomed. The second attempt proves sometimes the problem isn't timing, it's compatibility.
Wedding, yes, I'm ready. I just got back from Paris.
Number 7 is the classic Vegas mistake. On August 29, 2004, at 2:30 a.m., hotel heiress Nikki Hilton married businessman Todd Meister at the Las Vegas wedding chapel. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie were bridesmaids, which shows how last-minute and chaotic this was. Less than 3 months later, they filed for annulment. They'd been dating less than 3 months before the wedding and cited bi-coastal lifestyles. Nikki in LA, Todd in New York. But there was also family pressure. The Hilton parents reportedly weren't thrilled and pushed to dissolve it. The annulment was finalized by early 2005, legally erasing the marriage. Nikki later wrote it was a big mistake made hastily. Unlike her sister Paris, Nikki pivoted quickly from this embarrassment, rebranding as a serious fashion designer. She eventually married James Rothschild in 2015, and that marriage has lasted with kids. This is the perfect example of youth, money, Vegas, and peer pressure creating a disaster that good lawyers can erase. 2 months is shockingly short, but we're about to cross into days territory, not weeks. Days. One marriage ended because the groom was screaming drunk that his bride would take all his money. Another, the bride was locked out on the wedding night. It's about to get absolutely insane. Number 6 is Drew Barrymore and Jeremy Thomas. Pure chaos. In March 1994, when Drew was only 19, she married 31-year-old bar owner Jeremy Thomas in Vegas after 6 weeks of dating. Drew, who'd been through rehab multiple times by that age, later admitted she was not in a healthy headspace. The wedding happened at 5 a.m. after partying all night. Drew wore a white slip because she had no dress. The officiant said Drew looked giddy, but Thomas looked shell-shocked. 39 days later, Drew filed for annulment, citing she was too young and already in love with someone else. The optics were terrible. Child star acts out, marries stranger, splits 5 weeks later. Drew's been candid in interviews calling this crazy, but saying she learned from it. This was just the beginning of her pattern of short marriages. She'd marry Tom Green in 2001 for 5 months. The 39-day union stands as a warning about making life decisions when you're young, dealing with addiction, and not in a healthy place mentally.
That's probably the most dramatic thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And granted, it was absolutely horrible.
Hold on, because number 5 is brutal. Mario Lopez and Ali Landry had been together for 6 years before they married in a lavish Catholic ceremony in Puerto Vallarta on April 24, 2004. Everything looked perfect. 18 days later, Ali filed for annulment. The reason? She discovered Mario had cheated during his bachelor party weekend in Mexico, days before the wedding. Some say she found photos, others say she tapped his phone. Years later, Mario confessed in his memoir, writing he got inebriated and friendly with Lady. But here's what makes it worse. He admitted he wasn't even in love when he walked down the aisle. Lightning hit me with the truth. I wasn't in love, but I walked down the aisle because families were there and money was spent. I was not man enough to handle it, he wrote. So he cheated, knew he wasn't in love, married her anyway, then she found out and left within 2.5 weeks. Mario calls this one of the biggest mistakes of my life. Ali wasted no time, proving 6 years can be erased by 1 weekend of stupidity.
I got dressed and we went and we did it. We got married and then all of a sudden it was like chaos.
Number 4 is Carmen Electra and Dennis Rodman, Vegas chaos at its finest. In November 1998, the Baywatch star and NBA bad boy went on an all-night bender and ended up at the Little Chapel of the Flowers at 7 a.m. Both were known party animals, but 9 days was extreme. Rodman filed for annulment on November 23rd, claiming Carmen was of unsound mind during the ceremony. His lawyers said both were heavily intoxicated and it was a mistake. Carmen later said, "It was so spontaneous. Right after, I remember thinking, oh God, what did we do?" They tried to reconcile briefly, but it didn't work, and the marriage dissolved in March 1999. This became cautionary lore, a madcap wedding that ended almost immediately. It highlights the danger of making permanent decisions while drunk. Carmen's later advice: don't get married in Vegas. This was the ultimate example of what happens in Vegas absolutely not staying in Vegas.
Careful! Get married! I went out and found the perfect woman!
Number 3 is Tracy Edmonds and Eddie Murphy. On New Year's Day 2008, they wed in a romantic sunset ceremony on a private island in French Polynesia. Exactly 2 weeks later, they announced their split. But here's the twist. They hadn't obtained a marriage license in the US. They'd held only a symbolic ceremony. So instead of filing for divorce, they simply called off plans for the stateside legal ceremony. In effect, it was a 14-day marriage that was never legally binding. Wedding guests who stayed on the island reportedly heard Eddie yelling at Tracy in front front of people on a few occasions, saying it was very embarrassing. The couple released a statement saying, "After much consideration, we've decided to forego having a legal ceremony as it's not necessary to define our relationship. While the symbolic union in Bora Bora represented our deep love and respect on a spiritual level, we've decided to remain friends." Eddie later said he wouldn't marry again. This case is unique. Technically, no binding marriage to dissolve, but 14 days from vows to breakup still counts.
It's a fascinating combination of family drama and horror.
Number 2 is Nicolas Cage's 4th marriage and the most chaotic thing you'll hear. In March 2019, Gage was filmed at a Las Vegas courthouse applying for a marriage license with makeup artist Erica Koik. In the video, he's visibly drunk, shouting, "She's going to take all my money," while Erica calmly replies, "I never asked you to do this." Bystanders filmed everything. Despite this public meltdown, they married hours later on March 23rd. 4 days later, Gage filed for annulment. In court documents, he claimed they were both intoxicated to the point of lacking understanding, and that Erica hadn't disclosed her criminal history, including DUI charges. Cage's lawyers portrayed it as an impulsive, drunken mistake. The annulment was granted in April 2019. This made headlines everywhere. Here was an Oscar winner confessing to being so intoxicated he couldn't legally consent to marriage. Some tabloids wondered if it was a hoax or PR stunt, though nothing was proven. This was Cage's 4th marriage, and the 4-day duration earns it the number 2 spot.
Couldn't let her get married, with the conversation me and her had over the last 2 years.
Number 1 is the shortest and most infamous celebrity marriage of all time. In the early hours of January 3rd, 2004, 22-year-old Britney Spears married childhood friend Jason Alexander at a little white chapel in Las Vegas. Britney was a global superstar. Jason was a regular guy. They were watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in their hotel room when Britney said, "Let's do something crazy. Let's get married." They went to the chapel at 5 a.m. Britney wore ripped jeans and a trucker hat. Jason wore casual clothes. They were 2 young people having a laugh. 55 hours later, barely 2 full days, Britney's parents and management intervened and had the marriage annulled. The legal filing stated Britney lacked understanding of her actions. In her memoir, The Woman in Me, Britney wrote she was completely wasted that night and had no memory of the ceremony. "I wasn't in love with Jason. I got married out of boredom," she wrote. The annulment was granted in April 2004. Jason later claimed Britney's team interrogated him and forced the annulment, terrified about financial implications since there was no prenup. In the Free Britney context, this is now viewed as one of the first times Britney's autonomy was aggressively stripped by her team. Jason remained a tragic figure in her orbit, even attempting to crash her wedding to Sam Asghari in 2022. Those 55 hours never truly ended for him. This is the ultimate example of a what just happened celebrity marriage and the shortest on record. Looking back at this list, it's easy to laugh at the chaos, but there's a deeper truth hiding in the headlines. These aren't just legal battles. They're proof that no amount of fame or fortune can force a connection that isn't there. Strip away the million-dollar weddings and the paparazzi, and you just see people who wanted to be loved, sometimes so badly, they ignored every red flag in the room. Whether it was a spontaneous Vegas mistake or a relationship crushed by pressure, the lesson is the same. Intuition usually knows the truth long before the paperwork is signed. It's a wild reminder that you can script a movie, but you can't script chemistry. And honestly, it's better to admit a mistake after 4 days than to fake happiness for 40 years. If this tea shocked you, hit subscribe because we're diving into more celebrity chaos you won't believe.